Owning a house in this current economy can only remain a wish. So we're exploring the story of a 28-year-old man struggling to complete his two-bedroom house in Kaswa, owing to hikes in the prices of building materials.
Like many other people, Isa Mohammed also dreams of owning his house. He says it is the reason he works so hard. His job description is to load sand into tipper trucks for delivery. This job is intense and energy sapping.
This job needs no training, but neither is it for the faint-hearted. You need to be strong and eat well. So I eat foods like banku and beans to gain enough energy.
Under the Malam overpass is where contractors from Kaswa and beyond get sand and stones for building. When I got here, many of the workers were having a quiet and lazy day. They explained that it is because of low patronage in recent times. Isa is one of the lucky ones to get a tip for the day. He badly needs the cash to complete his two-bedroom housing project in Kaswa. At the moment, the project is on hold due to a hike in the prices of building materials.
I was hoping that I could get building materials at cheaper prices, but the prices keep soaring. I cannot afford materials, so the work on the building has been suspended.
From time to time, he drives commercial buses to augment his wages here, but that has still not made it easy for him to complete the project.
This job drains us. You can work like a bull, but at the end of the day, make pittance.
According to Isa, building a house in this current economy is no joke. Even the cost of carting sand and stones to project sites has more than tripled due to increased fuel prices. General Secretary of the Malam Tipper Drivers Union is Ameyao Ankemo.
Every December last year, and we are now 250. That is 250.
The price of a trip of sand last December was 250 cedis. Now the price has jumped to 400 cedis. Aside that, fuel costs 600 cedis. To make a trip of sand, you should be paying 1,000 cedis. Now drivers have been dragged to court because they are unable to meet the sales targets of their masters.
Suppliers are also on the low. For days, orders have diminished, making it almost impossible to keep the business running. One of such suppliers is Kofi. He is leaning on his spiritual beliefs to see him through these challenging times.
As for me, I'm putting my trust in God. Even though we are in a challenging time, I'm trusting God to pull me through. Our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, used to say, "Forward ever, backward never." So we are moving forward.
On the other side of town, building material dealers are bracing up for an impending increase in the prices of cement. Boating is the sales manager at a shop here. After spending about 4 hours, he counted only 3 customers. With the prices of building materials rising steadily, Boating fears some laborers may be laid off to cushion the business.
Yeah, I wonder if you can relate. I mean, so many people at this stage in life are building, trying to build something. And, you know, there are timelines on this thing. You know, you've decided that you will only pay rent for you've paid rent for the next 2 years, and you have to complete within that time. So you and your family can move into a new place without having to fork out another 2 years worth of rent, you know, which is not legal, but it does happen.
Of course.
You know, and so when all of these factors come together to conspire against you, and you suddenly find yourself unable to continue paying people to work on your project, it becomes a gray concrete trap just sprung and waiting to, you know, grab you in the future. It's a scary thought. But I wonder if we can all relate.
I'm sure we can.
Let's have a conversation about it. We're joined by a couple of people who know a thing or two about what's happening in that space. Let's say a quick good morning to our guests. We have
Kweju Obing, who's General Manager of New York Construction Mall, and Samuel Amegaiba, who's Executive Secretary for the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association. Good morning, Kweju, and good morning, Samuel.
Good morning, Winston and Kweju.
Yes, do you have Kweju on the line, Kweju Obing?
No, you have Same Kuban.
Oh, okay.
From the brick and tile manufacturers.
Sure. All right. Sam, thank you very much for joining us. So let's start off with you, Samuel. I'm sure you've been listening to the young man expressing his worry that building materials are going. I mean, the price of building materials have been increasing, making it difficult for him to continue building. You are an estate developer. Is it something you can relate with? Same story where you find yourself? Hello, Samuel?
Yes, Winston.
Yes, I was asking you, the young man that, we spoke with in the Living Standard series talks about the prices of building materials increasing and thus making it very difficult for him to continue his building project. In fact, it has stalled. I want to find out from you, since you also build on a large scale, what the situation is with you as an estate developer.
Winston, this has been very difficult for us. This material increment situation did not start today. I remember a year after COVID, it started getting worse from that time. I think December of 2020, that was when prices started escalating. I remember iron rods, for example, went up about 42%. And then we also heard about cement rising from that time around 38 cedis and went beyond 50 cedis before it finally came back down a bit to around 42, and then now went up to now around 45. So this material incrementing actually didn't start today, but rather started around December 2020, and it has been continuing up to this point. This has been a situation. It is really affecting our operations. A situation where you are having a housing project that is taking you a year or two. You start the project with a cement at 20 cedis and you finish the project with cement at 40 cedis. It throws you off balance. And this is where we have always been crying. I mean, real estate developers have been crying. And so when some of us decide to index our prices to the dollar, this is for some of the reasons. But this time, the issue has not been the dollar-cedi exchange only. But it has also been international prices that are rising. And that has nothing to do with the exchange rates. Before adding the exchange rate, and then the freight cost has also gone high because most of the ships are complaining about high cost of crude oil that they use to power their vessels to bring these materials in. And so over-reliance on foreign importation for our projects has also been a problem. And unfortunately, Ghana, we have not seen steps to develop our industries to produce what we need so that we can consume what we need.
Right. So at this point, tell us, are you operating at a loss? Because I know that a lot of estate developers sell some of their units off plan. So even before you build, you sell these units at a certain price.
Sure.
Anticipating how much it will cost you to construct them. Then, as you say, the price can double during the lifetime of that construction. By completion date, you are paying twice as much for everything. So are you operating at a loss?
Yes, it depends on how the individual developer is managing his operations. As I explained to you, in fact, one thing about even off-plan sales is that off-plan sales are usually at some heavy discounts.
Yes.
To attract buyers, to come on board. And so if you have a situation where you have experienced this astronomical price increment within the project cycle, it is going to be a big loss to you. But because also most of the developers have always indexed their price to the dollar, it helps a little. Because when the prices are fluctuating because of dollar exchange rate issues, and because your prices are in dollars, it kind of cushions you a bit. But when we have the international prices instead of rising, that one, it brings a lot of burden onto the developer. But it is all about how the developer individually will manage the situation, and if he has to increase his price. In fact, there are certain situations where clients have been called to sit down and a meeting has been held to renegotiate the terms. If not, it is not going to be possible.
How does that go down with the client who has, already committed to a price that you offered them?
In fact, some of the clients, they are reasonable. In fact, they appreciate where these things are coming from. And trust me, if you don't agree to some of these things, the fear also is that quality could be compromised. And so the reality has to be laid on the table. Both parties must look at the realities and agree to move on in a more cordial and compromised position.
Right. Now, we also have Sam on the line, right? Kojo Obeng, forgive me. Kojo Obeng, General Manager of New York Construction Mall.
Hi, good morning, Kojo.
Hi,
good morning
hi.
to your cherished listeners.
Oh, fantastic. It's good to have you, Kojo. Now, you are actually in the business of selling these materials.
Absolutely.
So, give us a general idea. If somebody was shopping from you to buy a home, a 3-bedroom house, let's look at how much it would cost him, to do that last year in January, compared to how much it will cost the same person to build the same house this year, buying from you?
It's going to be difficult where I'm standing to give you a definite cost. But like my colleague said earlier on, prices of this raw material started skyrocketing December 2020, and it has not stopped, So give and take, if a standard 3-bedroom costing, let's say, between $150,000 or even $200,000, you can imagine how much it's going to cost right now, because iron rods in December 2020, if I'm not mistaken, was around 4,300. But as we speak today, it's hovering around 5,700. So we can see the increment over 100%. And that is definitely going to affect the cost of building as well. So that's where we find ourselves as retailers. It's very difficult. A lot of customers normally call requesting for credit, but where I'm standing as a business, I cannot give credit, because once I do that, my business is going to collapse. So we are hoping the government is putting things in place to make sure this thing calms down or stabilize for the ordinary Ghanaian to be able to afford these building materials. Say.
Now, talking about some of the clients calling you and asking for credit, over the period, have you seen a reduction in sales as a result of the price increases?
Definitely. When you look at the sales, forecast from last month to this month, it has not been the same. Last month, iron rod, prices were a bit okay, and just about 2 weeks or a week ago, the prices increased, and definitely it has affected sales, because consumers always ask or fish around for prices. They ask for quotations and all that, and you provide them with these quotations, and they come back in 2 weeks' time, and the prices have definitely go up. So he has to pause on his purchase to reorganize himself to come in. It's definitely affecting our sales as well as a business,
So as it affects your sales as a business, have you considered maybe a break-even point and say, for instance, you want to reduce it, or you can't also afford to reduce it?
We can't also afford to reduce it. So as a business, you just have to manage your cost of operation against what you are also getting from your suppliers. You have to also manage your suppliers and to see if you can get some credit lines from them to be able to cushion you on your operations. If not, you are going to run at a cost, or you cannot even break a living. You cannot even break an even. And this is the situation that most retailers are facing in the industry currently.
I want to understand something. Now that you say your sales are being affected, how is your business coping?
What is really helping New York Construction more as a business, when we came onto the Ghanaian market, we decided to operate a construction hub so that we can have almost everything when it comes to building and construction material under one structure. So we are not, as a business, dealing in one building material so that when prices go up, everything is haywire. We have almost everything in terms of building and construction material that if this price of this material goes up, probably other materials will be stable, and sales on that section will cushion the other section as well. And we also, as a business, is running an e-commerce space that is helping consumers to be able to shop comfortably at their home and cut all these costs in terms of moving from one shop to the other. So as a business, we are also thinking about the consumer to help him navigate through these hard times that we are going through. So as a business, we're putting structures in place to cushion us, to make sure that we navigate our way through this difficult situation that we are all facing as a nation and globally as well. It's not Ghana alone. It's practically the whole world, and we all know what is happening around the globe.
So what materials are stable by way of prices and which ones have gone up? Just by way of a bit of an rough idea so we can appreciate what is happening.
Basically it's cement and iron rods, which prices keep fluctuating because of raw materials and supply chain issues globally. Basically iron rods, cement, prices keep going up and down. In terms of electricals and plumbing materials, it looks fairly stable on the market currently. Yeah.
So are any of your products locally manufactured?
Most of them, internationally, they import them into the country. We have the iron rod and cement, being manufactured locally, but some of the raw materials are imported. And once global supply chain issues are there and exchange rates are there, definitely it's going to affect production. And when production is affected, prices are going to go up. So you have a few of these materials being manufactured locally and a bulk of it coming outside the country.
As a business, have you considered seeking import substitutes for some of the things that are now a bit expensive to import?
We are looking on the local market to see if we can get something to, like I was saying, to substitute locally. But at the end of the day, it's quality that we are looking at. But we are not saying we don't have quality product on the market. Most of the electricals that we sell in our mall are produced locally by big local manufacturers, and that is helping to beat down these prices. Normally, the items that goes up are the ones that is imported, like the Turkish dolls, the bathroom accessories and all that, which you cannot really have control over them because of exchange rate and all that. But we try as much as possible to pick locally as well, so that the ordinary Ghanaian can also purchase from a wide range of varieties.
Right. Stay with us. I want to bring in Samuel Amagaibo again. We heard the president when he met with the Chamber of Construction last week. He was concerned about the cost of, buying a property here in Ghana. But he felt that the reason for the high cost was the technology that we use in construction. We are still very concrete and iron rods heavy. We go with the very traditional methods of construction. And he was pushing for more modern and cheaper methods. There are modern methods, but are they cheaper?
Kojo,
yeah.
This is a very important aspect of the discussion. There are several researches that are ongoing. There are several methodology imported or being paraded on our market here, but mostly foreign-based, that are suggesting that they should be cheaper than the way we build here. But in fact, from where I sit, most of these technologies, when you go into the details and put the figures together, they don't come out exactly cheap. And then most Ghanaians also have some taste that doesn't make the adaptation of some of these technologies friendly to us. And so for us as investors, it is a big risk to go sometimes into those areas. That is why our patronage of some of these technologies have been a little slow. And so we keep calling on government to assist in this area. And I say government to assist in this area because government is the biggest spender in construction. And so some of these technologies must first of all be adopted by government projects. Government is undertaking hospitals, government is undertaking schools, government has been talking about housing for the people and all. So we need some of these technologies to be applied in some of these projects for us to leverage on it in terms of marketing. And then there are some that greater members or real estate developers have adopted on their own, but the Ghanaian acceptance of some of those technologies have been very, very slow and has ended up becoming costly to some developers, and so they are shying away from some of it. But I think locally, we have Building and Road Research Institute. It looks like I don't want to use the word they've been neglected, but they have been left out of the equation completely. They have done a lot of research. I'm on the management board, so I know what I'm talking about. They have done several research on adaptation or usage of local materials, but nobody seems to care. Government keeps bringing projects into the country without making any references to what this institute has done, and we keep relying heavily on importation. We have also locally not assisted local industries to be able to produce even the local materials that they are producing in the quantities that developers will require for their projects. It will interest you to know that sometimes developers will want to even use some of these local materials, and it turns out to be more expensive. It's like it's rather a luxury to use some of these local materials than the importation, because the importations come and they come so cheap as compared to the struggle that a typical Ghanaian entrepreneur want to go through and produce something for our local market. So we need to do something to assist local production to feed us, in our industry. And then some of the things that we have even developed, like Puzzolana cement, for example. I'll give you that as an example. Puzzolana cement was developed also through the same BRRI. What happened to it? It is all because of patronage. So why couldn't government deliberately lay out policy and say that all government projects to use at least 10%, 15% of Puzzolana cement just to boost the production of that material? What happened to it? It never happened. So they folded up and they are gone. You see, so there are some opportunities that are hanging fruit for us, but we don't seem to take advantage of it and sit down and completely over-rely on foreign importation all the time, causing the wahala we have in this CD exchange issue. And we are not doing anything locally to assist ourselves.
Well, this is the Super Morning Show. If you just joined us, that last voice you heard belongs to Mr. Samuel Amegaibo. He's the Executive Secretary for the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, known as GREDA. We also have on the line Kojo Obing, who's the General Manager for New York Construction Mall. And we're learning about the ins and outs of construction and the cost of it as all of these economic factors are going up and down, mainly up in the wrong direction. We will find out how it's affecting you. But most importantly, when we come back from these messages, we will ask the critical questions about what to do. These are two industry players. They'll tell us the tips and tricks that you can use to ensure that you don't have to stall your construction project and you can still possibly, hopefully, stick to your completion date. That and more when we return.
Provident Insurance welcomes you to a new year. Remember to insure your new car or renew your existing motor insurance from the 1st of January to the 31st of March. You can win free gifts such as fuel coupons and several other branded Provident souvenirs. Rush for insurance cover now. Terms and conditions apply. With Provident, man, you are covered.
Do you need money to start a business? Do you need money to expand your business? Are you a government or private sector worker in need of money to sort out emergencies? Do you need working capital loan? Or you're in need of an emergency loan? Well, Quick Credits will loan you money so you can repay in flexible terms. It's collateral-free loan with no susu, no savings, no account opening nor deposit wahala. You just need to be a Ghanaian with your Ghana card. Quick Credit covers all forms of loans, and so you have no excuse not to work this 2022 and beyond. Call Quick Credit on 030-2200-390 or 059-692-0833. Take note that we do not give loans via the internet. Beware of scammers. We are regulated and licensed by Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit, lending made simple.
My whole family is proud of the engineer I have become. I owe this success to my mother and a lot of other people, but also to football and the grit I built as I learned the sport. The rejections taught me to keep fighting. The long hours taught me discipline. Knockdowns taught me to bounce back, and those unexpected victories taught me to never give up.
Nourish and energize your kids with Milo to help them succeed in sports, because the grits they learn in sports, they keep for life. Milo, energy to go further. Milo! This advert is FDA approved.
Wow,
Hey!
Sasket! It be 129 Ghana cedis. Yeah, tiso. The price of the DSTV decoder now is 129 Ghana cedis. It shock you, eh? Make it no shock you, cra. This is our gift to you this Ghana month. You go get the Zappa decoder, a dish, plus 1 month of DSTV access. Celebrate Ghana and enjoy the best in sports, movies, international and kids shows for less. Men's Slacky. Offer valid from 1st to 31st March 2022. DSTV. Feel every moment.
Foreman, how can I say the screening be smooth, perfect, where it drive fast like that?
Contractor, I always dey tell you say interface self-leveling screen be the best solution. It dey drive fast, where they make the job neat. In fact, it pass analog. This be original digital interface self-leveling screen.
Hey, babe, I hear you, Interface man.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274 9999 or visit our website at
www.interfacelimited.net. Facebook Interface Limited GH. Instagram Interface.limited.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We're talking construction. This is one that affects so many of us. If you're seeing the prices of your building materials and even the cost of labor going up, as a result of which you are having to stall or consider stalling your construction project, or at the very least slowing down your program of works, then this is the show you need to be listening to, because two of the industry's players are giving us insights into what is really happening as a result of all the changes in our macroeconomic environment. And so we've been hearing from Samuel Amegaibo of Greda and Kojo Obing of New York Construction Mall. They've been giving us some interesting insights. In a moment, they'll tell us what we can do, tips and tricks to ensure that our project doesn't get stalled in spite of increasing prices. Stay with us for that.
But of course, Kojo, DSTV wants you to know that Yatiso. Now, DSTV decoder, no, Yatiso, 129 Ghana cedis per. And this is our gift to you this Ghana month. Now, you can buy a Zappa decoder dish kit plus 1 month of DSTV access for 129 Ghana cedis instead of the old price of 169 Ghana cedis. Man, slacko. 129 Ghana cedis gives you the world's best for less with a wide variety of sports, international and kids shows. Now, this is a limited time offer for this Ghana month. An offer is valid from the 1st to the 31st of March 2022. Rush now, DSTV, feel every moment.
So here are some questions that usually come up when people discuss issues regarding press freedom. Is free speech in Ghana under threat? What is the nexus between media and law? What are the limits to free speech? The Ghana Institute of Journalism seeks to address these questions as it organizes a forum on press freedom, criminal libel, journalistic responsibilities, and other related issues. It's on Thursday, the 17th of March, 2022, at the GIG Auditorium, North Jolo campus, at 10 a.m. This event is open to the general public. Come and let's explore the intricate boundaries of free speech, the law, and democracy.
Well, here are some COVID-19 prevention tips. Wash your hands frequently and carefully with soap and running water. Rewash your hands several times a day, especially after touching anything, including your phone or laptop. Use hand sanitizer when you cannot wash your hands properly. Wash fresh groceries clean and disinfect surfaces such as countertops, door handles, furniture, toys, laptops, and mobile phones with alcohol-based disinfectants.
Okay, let's get back to it. And Our guests are Samuel Amegaibo and Kojo Obing. Mr. Amegaibo is with Greda, and Mr. Obing is with New York Construction Mall. I'd like to start with you, Kojo Obing. So, a customer, regular customer, buys from you all the time, suddenly finds himself almost priced out of the market for the things he needs to continue his project. What's your advice to him? What can he do as a customer of your establishment to ensure that he can continue his construction project and not end up losing, time just because things are getting more expensive? Hello, do we have Kojo Obing still on the line? Right, okay. Let's see if we can reconnect to Kojo Obing with a stronger line. Mr. Amegaibo, are you there?
Yes, Kojo, I'm here.
So pretty much the same question, but you, of course, you are sort of a customer too. So, share some tips and tricks. How are businesses in your association continuing to construct, without losing time, in spite of the increasing prices? What can I do? What are you doing that I can do?
Basically, the Ghanaian history and the Ghanaian system, it is very difficult for you to see anything coming down, even when things normalize.
Yeah.
So if you have the ability to procure in large volumes, it is the best thing to do. As you can hear, cement, they say it will go up next week. So if you are in a position to procure a bit, cement, unfortunately, you can't hold too much. But if you can procure a bit more, then it is better to take advantage of that. Also, I think most of the advice I give to people also under the circumstances is that it is better to complete your building to be functional than to be luxury. So if you have to cut down on anything that is luxury in features for the property and rather concentrate on what will make it functional. I hope you understand what I mean. When you say functional, the building could look as big as possible, but it is habitable for your convenience. Instead of adding luxury stuff that will not bring anything to you, you have to suspend that at this moment. And then there's also a lot of over-designing. As I drive around the city and around town, I see that a lot of structures are heavily over-designed. And so it is time for us to consult properly and get some of this over-design removed to reduce. For example, I see people doing very simple structures and they have columns in all four corners. They have lintels running over all the window openings and all those things. It doesn't work that way. Structurally, all you need is a little beam, which we call lintel, over window openings and door openings. But as you can see, you see lintels running on all the structures for basic structures, which I think it's uncalled for. So if they consult properly and get professionals to advise them, sometimes they can take away some of the things that they put in their building. It makes them unnecessarily expensive, but does not add any value to the property per se. So I think they can look at this. But to government, I think that I have argued during the 2020 December price hike. I said that, look, there are certain tax elements that are percentage-based. And so if government can look at some of those percentage taxes and make them flat rates instead of allowing the percentage to be applied. The international price and the dollar fluctuation has already increased the price of the commodity. And government too, because his tax is a percentage of the cost of the product, is also benefiting from increments. So government can look at some of these figures and begin to apply a flat rate. Let's go back to how much the taxes were as at December 2020 and look at the figures and maybe remove all the extras that are accrued in view of the prices that are also okay, so that we can get some relief. That is the only thing we can do locally to assist the system to bring the prices down. Kojo, unfortunately, Greda is having their AGM today, and I'm supposed to be in the meeting. I'm being called to give an address.
Oh, wow.
I'm running for time. So
well, we really
I'm sorry.
We really appreciate your time with us. Yeah, let me do this then, okay? If you have 30 seconds. There is a question that came up in our conversation last week following the president's concern about the rising cost of property. We noted that the dollar prices of property in Ghana keep going up. So property last year cost maybe $120,000. This year it's $130,000.
Yes.
But the dollar is not depreciating. So can you explain to us something that has already been built? The location hasn't changed. Why is the dollar price going up?
Remember in our earlier discussion, I told you that there were two major issues that were causing this price increment. And one has to do with international prices themselves going up. And the second one had to do with the dollar exchange. Mm-hmm. So anything that has international prices going up, those ones, it will mean that the price itself will also go up. But
this is something you've already built to.
By dollar exchange rate, then that one, because it is indexed to the dollar, it takes care of itself.
Well, Mr. Megai, but I'm talking about property you've already built. It's built. It's already there. For sale last year for $120,000. This year, $130,000. What accounts for the $10,000?
I guess if that is the case, it may not be fair. It may not be fair for anybody who may have want to do that.
Okay.
It may not be fair.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
But I just want to chip in this. Are you aware that bamboo is one material that can be introduced to replace iron rods in simple structures?
Oh.
This is food for thought. So I guess when we get into another discussion about actually how to properly design buildings, maybe at another discussion, we can get structural engineers to come and respond to this. And a lot of people are using it, so we can avoid using iron rods.
That would be fascinating. Thank you for that, Mr. Megaibo. No doubt it'll be cheaper.
Thank you for the point.
Wow. All right. Kojo Bing, I think we have you back on the line now.
Yes.
Okay, so let's have your tips for perhaps your customers who are struggling under the increased prices. What can they do? What arrangements can they come to ensure that they don't have to stall their construction projects?
Yes, so as a business, what we have done to help consumers is to advise them to buy the materials in advance. So let's say you are the foundation stage. The next thing that you need is you definitely need plumbing materials. Once you have any loose money, we advise that you buy the plumbing materials and store them so that you forestall future increments in prices. This will help consumers so that their project will not stall when they get to the various stages of the project. And as a business, what we have also come up with is to design a service that consumers can visit or clients all over the country or even outside the country can visit our site or come to our offices and sit down with us. And we have a product that they can pay installments. If you come and the cost of material that you need to build is, let's say, $20,000 at a particular stage of your project and you don't have all the money, you can start paying installments with New York Construction Mall so that at the end of the day, when you finish paying, we deliver to you free as a business. We all know how money is hard to come by and how to save. So the little that you have and you know that, okay, in 2 months' time, I'll reach this portion of the project. You come, we sit down, you start paying installments with us. Once you reach that amount, we deliver the project, or we deliver the materials to your project site or to your home at the cost of the company. And that is what we are doing as a business to cushion consumers to make sure that their project goes on. And also the advice that we can give to consumers is to find a location that they can practically find everything that they want to purchase so that they avoid moving from one shop to the other, that increased cost of transportation and rates and all that. And that's why as a business, we have a one-stop shop located at Oyarifa that once you come there, you get everything building and construction materials. It saves you time, it saves you cost, and it gives you the convenience as well. And if you don't have that time, you can comfortably sit in your office like Kojo, you are doing this morning, and go to our website, www.nyconstructionmall.com, and shop for all your building and construction materials. Prices are current, and once you shop online, we deliver to your doorstep. And as a business, we are opening warehouses in all the regional capitals to each deliveries in the various regions of Ghana as well. So you can be in Kumasi and shop online. We have a warehouse in Kumasi that the team there will quickly pick and.
Kojo, we'll have to send you an invoice if we let you go on anymore with this advertising. But I am curious about one thing you mentioned earlier. You said that you would allow customers to pay in installments. So say they can bring you a few thousand every week or every month or whatever until they finish paying for the product. So does that mean that you will peg the price of the product? It will not fluctuate as the dollar.
Because prices fluctuate, what we are also doing is at the final stage when you are paying your final amount and maybe there's an increase in prices and the difference is, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000, as a business, we can give you, let's say, a month or two to pay the difference. As a business, we also kept your money to run our business as well. So we are very reasonable. If prices increase and the difference, let's say it's 1,000 to this, we won't demand it immediately. We can give you that luxury to pay within a month. Then we deliver the item to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving us these insights. We hope they are helpful to our listeners and that they will know what to do going forward. We appreciate your time with us. Kojo Obeng is the general manager of New York Construction Mall. We've also been hearing from Samuel Amegaibo, who heads Grida. So we'll wrap this up after these messages.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life Insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glycolife, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
International School's Literature Department presents an adaptation of Death and the King's Horseman.
A classic 1986 Nobel Prize-winning literary work by Wole Soyinka.
Come and experience the embodiments of social ideologies, clash of tradition and modernity, beautifully enacted by students of Ghana International School.
You helped in the binding of the
I gave you warning. The river which fills up before our eyes does not sweep us away in its flood. I warned you.
Venue, the National Theatre.
Date, Friday 18th and Saturday 19th March 2022.
Time, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. each night.
Rates, 100 Ghana cedis for adults and 50 cedis for students.
VIP tickets are also available at 200 Cs. To purchase tickets, dial *389*65#.
Official media partner, Multimedia Group.
To purchase tickets now, dial *389*65#.
Now the GoTV decoder be 69 Ghana cedis, so hot deal Ankasa. This is our special gift for you. Get a GoTV decoder, GoTenna, plus 1 month of GoTV Plus subscription at 69 Ghana cedis. Celebrate Ghana and watch our own like Dede, Inspector Bediakun, movies, international and kids shows. Hurry o, na deal will be limited offer. Offer way is valid from 1st to 31st of March 2022. GoTV, love it.
Everyone is proud of the doctor I've become. I'm grateful to a lot of people, but especially for basketball and the grit I built as I learned the sport. The rejections taught me to keep fighting. The long hours taught me discipline. Knockdowns taught me to bounce back. And those unexpected victories taught me never to give up.
Nourish and energize your kids with Milo to help them succeed in sports. Because the grits they learn in sports, they keep for life. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo. This advert is FDA approved.